Hey Four Corners Youth, welcome back for week 3 of No Perfect People Allowed. I've been enjoying this series and I really hope you have too. This week I had the incredible honor to be able to interview our very own Ty Alexander. If you don't know Ty, she's one of our 6th grade girls small group leaders and she's an amazing person. I had such a good time talking with her and interviewing her, so why don't we go ahead and check it out right now. So Ty, I am so excited that you are here. I'm excited that we get to hear your story and your testimony. I've known you, has it been almost a year now?
Almost a year. You're in August.
Wow. Time is, I
Crazy.
don't know what time is anymore, but I'm so glad that I met you in the first place. But I honestly don't think I know your full story and your full testimony. I mean, I know bits and pieces from conversations we've had, but I'm really excited to hear it today. So you are one of the small group leaders for the 6th grade girls. How is that?
It's great. It's definitely an experience, but I love them.
I know the girls love you. They love you so much. And you've been serving. You started serving like in August last year, right? You started coming to Fort Worth, started serving right away.
Yeah, not long after I started.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and let's dive into this interview. So
Right.
I've kind of told you the questions, so hopefully you've been able to think a little bit about them. But what was your first experience with church like?
So I grew up in church kind of, but it was like what we learned about wasn't really reflected in our house behind closed doors. So I grew up being confused and skeptical about God. And then so we went to one church from as early as I can remember until I was about 11, I think. And then my parents got divorced and we stopped going. And then we went back to a new church when I was about 14. And that was kind of the same thing. It was like we learned things, but then at the same time, like it was a really, really small church. And our youth group was 4 people.
Oh, wow.
And like literally 4, there were 4 of us. And everyone else was 60 or older. So there wasn't a lot of people my age to like learn from and to like connect with. So that was also really hard. And I didn't really feel like I grew at all then too. Like I knew the general about God, but I didn't have a relationship.
Yeah.
And then when I was 17, then I stopped going to church completely and just worked all the time. And December of, I don't know what year it was, but I was 19. I got invited by a coworker to a Christmas Eve service. And he had been trying to get me to go to his church for a while. And I told him dropping the camera. I told him I would try it out. I never actually went. So then he brought me like a Christmas Eve flyer. And I was like, well, I guess I have to go now. So I went to Christmas Eve service and I loved the church, loved the people. And I said I would come back and try it again. And I didn't go back until a couple months after that. But when I went back, I fell in love again. And I haven't stopped going since then.
I love that. And it just kind of goes to show like how important that community piece is, even when you're younger. Like, I feel like we are very blessed to have such a large youth group and have students, because I know there are a lot of people who have experiences that are nowhere near what we have.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, Ty, when was the moment that you decided to follow Jesus, but like for real followed Jesus?
So when I started going to the last church I was at, I like instantly realized that I didn't have a relationship, didn't really know Jesus. And over time that grew, but it was when I was 21. Yeah, I was 21. And so I'd been going to the church for a while, but I hadn't really been like involved, and I hadn't reached out to anyone really. I kept to myself and I didn't let anyone in and there was a lady there, and my mom actually started going with me to church. And so there's a lady there, and her husband were prayer partners, and they would stand at the front, and if you needed prayer, you'd go down to them. So there was one day my mom went down for prayer, and she was talking to the lady. Her name's Ruby. She was talking to Ruby's husband, Todd. And I kind of just sat there and waited for her because I had to go to work. So I was impatiently waiting, and Ruby came up to me, and she just started talking to me. And I was kind of like, I still was in that mindset where I didn't really want to talk to anyone. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just like gave her the simple answers, like, I'm fine. Like, I mean, honestly, it probably wasn't as nice as I should have been. Like, it was kind of like hinting at the fact that I didn't really want to talk to anyone. And we joke around about this now, so it's fine. But so she came up and talked to me and went to work and everything. The next week, she came up and talked to me again and like asked how I was doing. It was the same thing, and I'm still kind of like, why is somebody trying to talk to me, you know? And it went on like that for weeks and weeks. And then there was one day where she asked me, like, because the last week I was telling her that I was stressed because I had to work and I was still in school, so I had a test to do the same night, and I was like super stressed about turning it in. And so the next Sunday she asked me, she's like, well, how was your test and how was work and like all this? And I'm like, what? Because no one had actually ever taken the time to like invest in me like that. And so we started getting closer, and she would like drop little nuggets of truth my way. And there was one day, it was in February, we had a women's conference, and the day after that conference ended, I went up to her and I just like sobbed and like bawled my eyes out, and I'm like, I need to change my life. Like, I'm ready to do it now. So, and that day has stuck with me.
Oh, I love that. I never knew that. That's amazing. I love that. It's cool to see how God puts different people in our lives that really pushes us towards Him. And I think as like youth leaders, I feel like that's something that we hope to be for our students, is one of those who can drop those little nuggets of truth.
Yeah.
All right. So final question, the two-parter. So Ty, since you decided to follow Jesus, what has He been doing in your life, and why do you continue to follow Him every single day?
So ever since I started following Jesus, I've gotten more and more like in tune, I guess you can say, with hearing God's voice and like knowing what's coming from God and what's coming from me. And so just being able to listen to His voice and like follow where He leads, like the whole moving to Kansas City, like that was, I prayed about different places to move to and nowhere stuck out, and I immediately, as soon as I prayed about Kansas City, like I felt like that was it. And the more I prayed about it, the more confirmation I got. And so then, and I also tried to move here before God wanted me to. Like, He said yes, but not yet, but I was ready to go, and He said no. So when I was finally like got like okay to move, then every little thing lined up perfectly for me to move here. So that was really cool. And that was really a big moment where I was like, okay, God, I get it. I'll listen now. Like, I'll do it your way, not my way. So ever since then, like just praying about things and waiting to see like what sign He's going to give me, like, and just waiting and not trying to see for myself has really helped me grow in my faith and follow where God leads. And what was the second part of the question?
The second part is just, why do you continue to follow Him every day? And I feel like you kind of almost answered that, because just like knowing His plan is the right plan makes it
exactly. Really- yeah, and just knowing like that confirmation of when things line up that like this is where He wants me has shown me that like He will faithfully every time show me which step I need to take.
Yeah, I feel like just like you, even just being a part of our youth group is just a testament to that, because it's like cool to see like you were just faithful in moving to Kansas City and you didn't know why, and like already like you're making so many impacts on our students, especially our 6th grade girls. Like I know you're making an impact in my life, so it's really cool to see how like God is using your obedience to do awesome things. So that's really cool.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome. Well, thank you so much for just sharing these little bits with us. I'm sure your sixth grade girls will have a ton of questions for you because that's how sixth grade girls are. But do you have anything you would like to shout out to your sixth grade girls or anything that you would like to say to them real quick?
Well, they already know this, but I love you guys, and I think you're awesome. And here's something. It should have been a surprise, but I'm gonna ruin it. So I'm preparing for our next hangout. Today I went to Target and I bought a 4-quart ice cream maker. So our next hangout, we're gonna be having ice cream and a waffle cone maker. So
oh my gosh,
we're gonna.
Can I be a sixth grade girl?
It was on sale. It was a ridiculous sale, and I'm like, we need this. I'm getting it.
That's awesome. We will have to do like an ice cream bar night or something.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
All back together. It'll be great.
Yes.
Well, again, thank you so much, Ty. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Alrighty, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed that interview. Like I said, I had such a good time chatting with Ty and getting to know her a little bit better. We're gonna go here in just a second, but before we do that, I wanna pray real quick, and then I'll see you guys next week. God, I thank you so much for each and every one of our students. I pray that as we go throughout these next few weeks, we can really take time to examine our relationships with you and just really begin to see what you're doing in our lives every single day. We love you and we give everything to you, Lord. Amen. All right, you guys, that's it for week 3 of No Perfect People Allowed. We'll see you right back here next week.